Chris, let's talk about your experiences, because we covered mine the last time, and part of how we met was you were on 618 of Sasquatch Chronicles, and you were at Lady Evelyn Lake area?
That is correct. Yeah, I was on a 10-day camping trip with my brother, and I think we're in like day 2, day 3 or something like that, and the very first day we made our way down to, I guess, the mouth of Lady Evelyn Lake, and okay, going back to this time, yeah, I had no idea about Sasquatch, the calling cards or what have you.
Well, you said it today. It wasn't on your radar.
No, not at all. But yeah, the only thing I was concerned about, camping up there is maybe bears, black bears, run into black bears. So naturally, we have our, those camping barrels. They're almost like pickle barrels in a sense, but they have little handles on them. We threw that up in the tree there to keep our food, high and out of sight and out of the smelling range of a black bear. And in the process of putting my bear barrel up, and I hear a tree come crashing down in the woods. That was the first experience there. And again, that time I didn't know what the heck happened there. Okay, well, I understand trees do fall in the woods, mind you, no wind is blowing at all. Fine weather, we're wearing shorts and everything like that. It's still summertime. September, I believe. But anyhow, didn't think anything of it. Of course, I didn't know anything about, these calling cards of Sasquatch. Whether I don't know whether it's a feat of strength or whatever it is. But yeah, a tree comes crashing down the woods, and yeah, I just sloughed it off. No big deal. Next day came. We hopped in our canoe, went to the next section of the island. We were camped on a section on Lady Evelyn Lake. On a bunch of little small islands they're called eskers. Spent the night there, got up the next morning, took off, nothing out of the ordinary. But on our journey there, our destination was Maple Mountain. We came through a section of Lady Evelyn Lake called the Narrows. So you can probably look it up on Google Earth or just check out Lady Evelyn Lake. You'll know what section we're talking about here. It's the thinnest part of the lake where it passes into another water body. But anyways, a little narrow section here, and I'm looking over to my left, and I could have sworn I'm looking at a black bear because it's on its haunches, head down, drinking water out of the lake. So I just informed my brother. He's in the bow of the canoe. I said, "Hey, look, there's a bear right over there. Take a look." He no sooner looked over there, and this bear, what we thought was a bear, turns around, all fours, walks off on all fours, and after the fourth or fifth step, it just got up and walked off just like a man. Now, the weird thing is this guy was dressed all in black, which was kind of out of the ordinary up there, because, who dresses all in black? Like, I'm talking about totally all in black. He was wearing what looked to be like a black ski mask or balaclava.
Yeah.
Big heavy coat. Looked like he was wearing snow pants. Looked like he's wearing, a huge set of gloves on him here. Like almost, if I was going to describe him, it looked like he had these, like soccer goalies, where they have these, soccer goalies, the size of their gloves, big hands in a sense, right?
Yeah.
And just walked off in the woods, and there's no campsite there because usually, that whole area, if you're going to get to a campsite, you're either going to, the only way you can get to that campsite is either by float plane, by motorboat, or canoe, kayak, and there's no canoe pulled up on shore, nothing like that. It's just, there was nothing there.
Did it have distinctive ears like a bear would on the head?
I didn't see it. It was a side view, it was a side view sighting. So basically, he was on all fours. He was walking along on all fours, and I could have sworn it was a black bear until it got up and walked off. His arms were swinging back and forth, and a black bear is not designed in a way that the arms can swing backwards in a sense, and it just walked off into the woods and
Out of sight.
off he went. And it was definitely not a campsite. And the first thing that came to mind was like, okay, why is this guy dressed all in black? Why is he dressed like a black bear? Is he trying to get shot? I thought this guy had a few screws loose in a sense, because if you're going to be camping out in these areas, you're not going to be wearing dark clothes, for instance,
with a balaclava on and trying to get shot.
And meanwhile, you're in shorts and a t-shirt. You have a tilly cap on to, protect your head from the sun and everything. So, okay, obviously there was something wrong. I didn't realize what I was looking at was a Sasquatch until several years later. But
so what was that? What brought that epiphany in?
That
Just
wasn't
laying in bed one morning, for example, and this going like on. You woke up from a dream.
No,
something triggered it. What happened?
No, it was when there was a grouse hunter that was out with his family out there, and they were out, out walking some of the trails there, trying to maybe harvest grouse or something like that. And this guy pulled out his iPhone and recorded some screams and howls off in the distance, and that was sort of made its way on social media, on Facebook and what have you, YouTube, and that sort of piqued my interest, and I was searching around things, which will segue into the next section of my story.
Mm-hmm.
After our sighting there during the Narrows in Temagami, our destination was supposed to be Maple Mountain.
Mm-hmm.
And, there's an old abandoned Ranger fire tower up there. So
I was waiting for the fire tower story.
Yeah. So, and this was just earlier in the day when we were seeing this guy, and this thing was, the weather was hot, because I remember we got to this Tupper Lake, we ditched our canoe, loaded up our packs with the bare essentials to spend one night on Maple Mountain, because it was almost an hour and a half, maybe 2 hour hike or something like that. I remember running out of water halfway up there. We should have, used our water purification pumps and pumped our Nalgene bottles up at Tupper Lake, because along the way we had to go and we realized we were out of water, and we had to go and pump it out of a marshy, swampy area there, which wasn't the best water, because it just wasn't good.
Second best.
Yeah, second best. Anyways, we made it up on that mountain eventually, and sweating like bullets and everything like that, and we pitched our tent and everything. We spent the night there, and it wasn't until probably 11, 12, maybe 1 o'clock, and we started hearing some screams off our west side of that mountain there, or that ridge, Maple Mountain. Mm-hmm. And we're sitting around the fire, and it was like, we heard these screams, and both of us looked at each other and basically said, what the hell is that?
What did the scream sound like? Was
got
that
some
or
no, it was. It's a combination. I don't know, a combination between an owl and some sort of. I don't know. I couldn't describe it. I've never heard anything out in the woods make this sound, but if you look at it up on YouTube, It is the Shawnee National Forest vocalizations. If you look it up on YouTube, you'll be able to find it. But that had to be the closest recording to what we heard that night upon that ridge there. And it went on for about, on and off for about a total of 15, 20 minutes or something like that in between. And we're like, the hair was standing up in the back of our necks, and we're thinking, what the hell is that? And we're standing up on the top of the highest part of this ridge, and then we're like looking out, into the darkness, like trying to figure out, okay, where is this thing coming from? It's definitely off our ridge, off the west side of that ridge, not on the mountain, but definitely could have been halfway down, maybe down on below the mountain, but whatever it was screaming like that, had some pretty big lung capacity, and the only thing that might come close to it is maybe a lion. Definitely some lung capacity on that, and then whatever it was, it had to have been big.
Yeah.
So, and again, at that time, we didn't believe in Sasquatch, Bigfoot, or anything like that. In fact, we didn't even know that was a high sighting area at that time.
Yeah.
We've read books on Temagami canoe routes or something. I believe the author was Hap Wilson. He only mentions though Wendigo, and I had no idea what the hell Wendigo was anyway, so I didn't pay too much attention to it. But anyways, that was it. And next day, even before the next day, we climbed in the tent. We had our buck knives, our camping knives, and our axe inside the tent because whatever the hell that was making that noise. We didn't know what to think, whether this thing was going to come in the camp or whatever. I don't know. It wasn't too reassuring. That's the first time we ever heard anything like that out in the woods.
And what year was this?
Oh, I think it was it 98?
Okay.
And
okay.
And it was the very night that the Swiss Air flight crashed off of Peggy's Cove.
Flight 800, I think it was.
Mm-hmm.
Flight 800
or 111 or one or the other. I can't remember, but it was a Swiss Air flight that landed off Peggy's Cove because we were listening to it on our transistor radio that night. And then shortly after that, we started getting news of that. That's when the scream started off. So we can get an exact date, in history.
Yeah, I forgot about 111.
Yeah. But yeah, that was my first account. And funny, 20 some odd years later, or 20 plus years later, back up in the Temagami area again.
Mm-hmm.
So I do some backwoods camping, and well, it was some crummy weather, and I also had, I was camped out in the same area where I had this sighting, and along our route, we were, this is me and my girlfriend were on our way up to a place called Shining Tree, Ontario.
Shining Tree.
Okay. And on our way, we just got out of a little village or town called Elk Lake, about 12 kilometers past that town. Driving out towards the cottage, our next destination, and I look over onto my left-hand side of the road, and I see this great big giant black mass, this hairy creature. All I seen was shoulders, a small little bump in the middle of the shoulders, and this thing running full tilt like I've never seen anything run. Like, there's no way a human being dressed up in a monkey suit could run this fast.
Yeah.
And there was like a little meandering creek, a little bit of an opening in the area, and this was like September 2020. I believe it was September the 8th, 2020. and the leaves have barely started to change, and most of the vegetation is still green, and this thing was like jet black, head to toe, running. It stuck out like a sore thumb.
Yeah.
We were basically rounding this corner, so I'd imagine we probably took it by surprise. And we had our dash cam on, and I was able to catch something on the dash cam. But again, dash cams are designed for close-up photography and video evidence.
It's not the human eye.
Exactly, and it's more of a fisheye lens. So as we round that corner, there was some sort of anomaly that crossed that road at that time, and we're hurtling down that road about 80 kilometers an hour, just doing the speed limit.
Sure.
And when we caught it, I was on vacation that time. So something crossed the road. I didn't see it that time because I was looking in the ditches, keeping an eye out for like moose, because that could be just a collision hazard anyway. So
sure.
We're searching along the way. I told the girlfriend to keep her eye out on the right-hand side of the ditches of the road, and I'll keep my eyes on the left-hand side of the road. And that's when I seen that big black mass running away on a 45-degree angle. When I first sighted it, it was probably about 100, 150 feet away. The closest I got to was as we're approaching, getting closer. As I was looking up the driver's side window, was probably 60 feet. And then I'm sitting there, I'm basically dumbfounded. I'm going, what the hell am I seeing here? I'm thinking, okay, it's not a moose, it's not a bear, it's something black, big shoulders, running on 2 feet. It got to this gray rock granite face, and it literally just leaped right up this rock face and jumped up on top of this hill, and it buggered off. And
Wow.
and like there's a million things going through your mind as you're driving. Okay, what am I looking at? What am I seeing?
Am I crazy?
Not quite that, but I was like, okay, what do I do? Do I keep going? Should I keep going, or should I just pull over? Or what the hell was that? And it's like, damn, I'm going to pull over. So I pulled over the side of the road, and the girlfriend asked me, "Hey, what are you pulling over for?" I said, "I just seen something." And she knew what I meant by seeing something, because I just sort of told her earlier about, it wasn't that day, but probably about a month, maybe 3 months ago, or prior to that, of my Sasquatch sightings up in the Temagami area.
Again, 2020, and
When my first sighting
you
happened.
finally told her in 2020 about it, though.
Yeah, I just finally told her, because...
A couple months later, flash forward.
Well, she didn't believe me at first, and no big deal. Like, I wouldn't believe it either if I wouldn't had my first sighting. But we started listening to podcasts and what have you, and I explained to her exactly what I seen and how this creature acted and what its stance was, how it physical characteristics, and listening to other witness accounts. And she goes, "Wow. How is it possible everybody's having all the same delusions there? Like thousands of people."
Yeah.
Right? So,
A lot of swamp gas.
yeah, something like that. But yeah, and, I'm a knower, not a believer. I don't believe in these things. I know they exist. They're out there.
So that happened. Like, did anything else happen, like, earlier in your life? I think you told me about some rock sliding you heard.
Yeah, if we go back further than that, I remember, I've always interested in the outdoors, like camping, fishing, and stuff like that. And
Like the bonfire we're having right now.
I'm starting to get a skunky smell in the air, right?
Yeah, I smelt it down by the house. I don't smell it back here.
Yeah. No, yeah, when we were kids there, parents would take us out camping up in Kilbear Park, for instance, and I remember being awake at around like an early hour, probably about 3 o'clock in the morning, maybe 3:30, and I hear like rock clacking or a combination between rock clacking and rocks being dragged across granite, which was kind of weird because at 3 o'clock in the morning you're starting to think, and it's like, okay, what the hell's making that noise? And you're just a little kid, and now you're scared. You're wondering, what is this? What's going on?
I'm sorry, were you in a tent?
I was in a tent with my parents. My parents were sound asleep.
Yeah.
And then
Take our child.
Hmm?
Take our child.
Yeah.
Please, go ahead.
I must have been about 8, 9, maybe 10 years old at that time. But yeah, you hear like rock clacking at 3 o'clock in the morning. I was going, what the hell's going on here? But probably about an hour later, we had an OPP cruiser come cruising through the campsite, which I think was kind of unusual. Like, how many times?
Were the lights on?
Yeah, he was shining a light all over the place.
No,
there.
it's his roof lights.
Oh, no flashing lights, but he was like...
He did have a spot.
He had the spotlight on, and he was like shining it around the camp area. So I don't know what that was all about at that time there. And again, I'm speculating there, but I'm just reporting on what I experienced earlier as a little kid. So,
Yeah.
And again, I didn't have any follow-up reports on anything like that, or anybody make any other reports of seeing anything unusual in that park. But that's what I remember.
Yeah.
And
Well, maybe some of it got repressed, and what you just said about like something that happened to you earlier in your life, to liken it back to me for a second. Well, yeah, I was like 5 years old when I saw that thing cross the road.
yeah, with you.
Yeah. So
And you had 3 witnesses in the vehicle.
Well, there was 2
yourself.
others.
2 others, yeah.
And so it's resurfaced memories.
Mm-hmm.
So what else? What else you got?
All sorts of weird things happen to me. I don't know what it is, whether I'm blessed or cursed. I don't know, but
I hope it's blessed.
yeah. Hopefully it's an enlightenment of some sort. But I guess it was 2001, maybe 2002. I can't exactly remember the one date, but it was around Christmas time. My kids are already up north at the in-laws' place, and I was in the process of heading up north because I finished the day at work and taking the garbage out. I was going to set it by the curb behind this little complex that I lived in. And, I caught some light out of off my left-hand side. Me living by an airport, it wasn't anything unusual to see lights in the sky, so that's what I figured it was, just an airplane coming in for a landing. No big deal, but
Let me just say that Darrell is near CFB Trenton.
Yeah.
And you can see planes coming in from distances, a row of lights, they're aircraft landing lights. It's not a UFO. So go ahead.
Yeah, so I just thought it was a plane coming in for a landing. No big deal. So.
Oh, this is the Hamilton.
Oh, this is in Hamilton. Yeah, this is out in the smack dab in the middle of the city, and this light got lower and lower and lower, and it came down, at a half decent speed, obviously, because I only made 2 or 3 steps, and I stopped at my tracks, and I'm looking, okay, what the hell is this that I'm looking at? Because this light that I thought was high in the sky was actually not that far away from me, but it came down and floated approximately 3.5 feet off the ground. And floated right by me. It was about the size of a basketball. Nice bluish light. It was a bluish light, size of a basketball, floated right by me.
How far away from you would you say
about
it was?
15 feet.
15 feet.
And as far as
From us to the other side of that fire.
Yeah, pretty much it was close. And I was standing there, and I just dropped the garbage bags out of my hands. I'm thinking, what the hell am I seeing right here? I didn't feel any fear or anything like that. I was just more bewildered and puzzled. Like, what am I looking at? There was snow on the ground, and this thing wasn't really shedding a whole lot of light. It was just an energy. I don't know whether it be plasma or what the hell it was. I don't know. But
so there was no shadow with trees.
yeah, it wasn't casting a whole lot of light off on the snow. That's all I remember.
Concentrated in the center.
Yeah.
Okay.
The best way to describe it is, let's say you have your TV with no cable. You know, hey, you got that snowy picture. It looks like snow. That's exactly what it looked like as it was floating by me. But a lot more, had a more of a deeper, bluer tint to it. And this thing, cruised right by me, about 15 feet away, 3 feet off the ground, and headed towards a little grove of pine trees. And it literally zigzagged in between the pine trees and took off around another building there. And
you told me that before. You didn't tell me about the zigzagging in the trees.
Well, it went towards a grove of pine trees. It didn't run into a pine tree. It somehow knew to steer its way around a pine tree to get around the next pine tree, and then hung a right and went behind another building. Wow. And that was the last I seen it.
Wow.
And I don't know what the hell that was. I'm thinking ball lightning, but it's wintertime. When have you ever seen lightning in wintertime?
I don't even know if I've ever seen ball lightning.
Yeah, you have never seen ball lightning or anything like that. I'm trying to put some sort of sense to this.
I might have been smoking some swamp gas, but I've never seen ball lightning.
I haven't even had a beer because I was going to hit the highway and
nice.
Hit up to Hastings County and meet up with my family up there at that time. So, yeah. So
why don't we stretch back for a second? Both Chris and I are from Hastings County. But we both live now in the Hamilton area. And we connected through Hastings County Sasquatch on Facebook. And you can see the YouTube page that we've created as well. So what's next?
I don't know what's next. Here we are. We're out here maybe.
We're actually out in the woods. We've just had I had some burgers. You had a big steak.
Big old tomahawk.
We got a tomahawk steak. We got a fire burner in front of us. It's 2 a.m. Let me just check the...
This is the bewitching hour.
2:21 a.m. I've heard a few snaps off in the woods here. We're back from behind my house. Again, if you go back to the Administrator Experiences, our previous episode, we're actually on the property where... all that happened. Not all of it happened, but the ones in Darrell that I mentioned. So we're covering Chris, my partner, in Sasquatch Prime, not crime, with a P, Prime, Sasquatch Prime.
Yeah. But yeah, we can boot ahead to September 2020 out, deer hunting. And again, there's so many weird interactions being out in the woods. I don't know whether it is. It's like some people are a magnet to these things, or what it is.
Yeah, that's coming up more.
But let's say before the deer hunting season in 2020, let's go back to 2018.
Yeah, I've had it.
Yeah, I was out turkey hunting, and I was in the process of going up to my spot on an oak ridge. I get to the bottom of this hill, and I was I was stopped dead in my tracks for some reason, and I don't know about infrasound or anything else like that. Maybe a lot of you don't know about infrasound either, but
no, we've all heard of it if people are listening to this. But
yeah.
Or mind speak, infrasound, mind speak, yeah.
Maybe perhaps, but I was sort of stopped at the bottom of this hill, and I'm thinking, not thinking, but I got that feeling of, okay, you're being watched. You're being watched by something, and you couldn't move any further because it felt like there's a brick wall in front of you. You cannot proceed any further. You could try, but you can't move. You're just frozen there. And you have that feeling that, hey, something's watching you.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you have that fight or flight. You either turn around and walk away, or you can stand there and fight. So, again, I wasn't too familiar with this whole subject altogether. If you listen to other witness accounts, they explain the same sort of experience also. At that time, I really didn't know that much about this subject until, about a year later or something like that. After that one hunter that recorded those sounds, when I actually took a serious look into the subject. But at that time, I didn't know what the hell was going on. Okay, was it a bear? Was it a cougar or something like that watching me? Or sometimes you have a sixth sense.
Mm-hmm. Which we talked about today.
Yeah, and, usually I'd go to my hunting spot. I usually don't load my shotgun up until I get to my hunting spot, just for safety's sake.
Yeah.
And
well, that's the law, I think.
Well, no, you can basically.
Well, yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
Yeah. But my own preference there. You're out turkey hunting. You're just out scouting around, keeping your eyes open. But anyways, long story short, I loaded my shotgun. I put 3 Magnum load turkey shells in my shotgun. One up the spout, ready to go, and I'm going, okay, whatever's looking at me or wanting to attack me or something like that, I'm ready to rock and roll. It must have lasted for about 4 or 5 more minutes or something like that, and that feeling of being watched sort of dissipated. Mm-hmm. I felt more at ease afterwards, and so I proceeded up my way. Got to my hunting spot, and of course, the hunting day was ruined. There didn't hear a peep out of anything.
Yeah.
It was pretty quiet. So, so that was that experience. Now, fast forward to, 2019, 2020 was out up in that same area deer hunting. Again, what do I find along that same trail that I feel like I was being watched is, tree markers or tree X's right on the trail.
Is that what the photos you sent?
Yeah, I took
photos are on Hastings County, Sasquatch.
Yeah, I took photos of it, and this is the very trail that I take to get up to my little Oak Ridge there. There's one at the base of the trail, and there's one right at the very top of the trail. Two X markers right there, which I never noticed before. They weren't there before. So, and again, they weren't overly big. They weren't great big giant trees that were pushed down and formed X's, but they were more. It looked like a top of a tree that was snapped off and placed there, like jammed into the ground, and with another tree that was pulled over to form an X.
Yeah.
So, at first I just sort of, it blew off top of a tree and fell down and formed an axe.
Winter got cold.
That
froze.
Yeah, that was at the base of the trail. And then when I got up to the top of the trail, there's another axe up there. But this tree was like broken off but jammed into the ground, which I'm going, you're scratching your head thinking, okay, what did that? How's it possible to have 2 X's on the very same trail? But there's some unusual things going on out there. So let's fast forward to 2020 deer hunting season.
Yeah, tell that one.
Yeah, it was. I had a buddy up with me, and we're going to.
You're skipping a lot, by the way.
Oh, I know.
But let's keep this. Anyway, deer hunting season 2020.
Yeah, we're going up to up the lake to a piece of property that you can only access through boat. So we took a motorboat up there, and we landed at a friend's cottage there, and we went up to this the high point on a hill, offer some a great vantage point up there. There's good areas where we know that deer bedded down. So my friend's about 150 yards away from me. And I'm sitting up on the top of this ridge, locked and loaded, waiting for, a deer to maybe wander by. We had I was told there was a hunt camp probably about 1.5 kilometers, maybe 1 kilometer towards the north of my position.
So don't fire in that direction.
Well,
unless you're firing
there's
down.
a whole lot of trees up in that area.
I'm sure there is, but I'm just saying.
You can try your best to try and hit someone there. You wouldn't hit anybody from 1 mile away with the rifle bullet. But anyways, I guess it was around 8. Yeah, probably about 7:50, maybe 8 o'clock in the morning. I can hear a dog, chase going down. We're allowed to hunt deer with dogs up here in Ontario. So I'm thinking, okay, there's a deer chase coming. So, I was on the ready, keep my eyes peeled. And then all of a sudden the dog just shuts right up.
Okay.
And then nothing. Oh, it's like total silence. Still keep my eyes peeled, didn't hear anything, so it wasn't until about, I guess around 8:30 or something like that. I'm scanning the wood line here, and I'm in a hardwood section, and beyond that hardwood section, there's more conifers, pine trees and spruce and tamarack and stuff like that. I couldn't see that as far as, once you start getting to the green section or the conifers. But yeah, I'm sitting there, and I hear 2 loud foot thuds, almost like that even doesn't do it justice. I mean, like, it was like ground thuds. I never heard anything hit the ground that hard. It was like boom, boom, and then I hear a tree come falling down in the woods, like crashing down. And again, goes back to that Temagami trip, the very first trip I took up in that area. Same thing happened. Other than the ground thuds, we had a tree come down. Perfectly good weather. And that day, it was perfectly good weather because there wasn't any wind blowing. It was a very nice day, surprisingly. It was probably in the 70s up there, which is probably the worst the worst weather to hunt deer in. Because they already got their winter coats on. They're not going to be moving when it's like 70 degrees.
Yeah,
so
I gotta rest right here.
So it was like an exercise in futility, hoping to see a deer moving around during the day. But anyways, yeah, I hear 2 loud foot thuds or some sort of ground thuds, and a tree come crashing down the ground. And I'm thinking, okay, maybe I'm a bit of a slow learner, but I didn't equate it to Sasquatch, even though I've heard since that time lots of witnesses experiencing the same damn thing, where these things will push a tree down or throw a tree down. I don't know why they do it. It's a feat of strength. Maybe trying to scare you away. I have no idea, but I experienced it. So the next thing I did was, okay, well, what was that? Maybe it was a moose. I don't know. I had a set of Walker game ears, which you had a chance to try out. What'd you think of them?
And you already pointed it out, like you can't tell what direction the sound is coming in. So if you're hearing something off your left side, it could be coming from your right. It's anyway. But that was it.
It was omnidirectional. You can't really tell.
Oh yeah, omnidirectional. Yeah.
And so the first thing I did, and this is a brand new set. I threw them on my ears and try and figure out, okay, what made that noise? What made that tree come crashing down? So I turned them on, brand new set, fresh batteries and everything. All I'm getting is, a clicking noise, some sort of interference.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm getting a constant clicking noise in it. And I had no clue what the hell's going on here. Okay, why is this thing clicking? What's the interference? So the first thing I thought, maybe the electronics in this thing is like picking up some interference from my cell phone. I shut the cell phone off. Didn't make a difference. I shut the GoPro off. Okay, the clicking continued. So I'm thinking, I'm not even thinking Sasquatch at this point here. If I did, I probably would have said, okay, it's time to get the hell out of here. But I basically stood my ground there. I didn't move. And, I had a loaded 30-30 ready to go. So I wasn't scared of anything, really. But I was getting this clicking noise, and I think I was preoccupied. I was like, okay, I spent all this money on a set of hunting hearing aids, and this thing's not working right. I'm just getting this clicking noise. And of course, when I get back, I found out, yeah, these things do make clicking noises sometimes. It wasn't... Excuse me, it wasn't until I spoke to you and you said, well, did it sound like the predator noise?
Well, like, there was, I forget where I heard it, but it was somebody that was talking about, there's some certain, I think it might be South American dialects, where they talk with a clicking tongue and they, like whatever that is.
Yeah.
Like, we don't, it's hard for us to comprehend.
It was African or something, but yeah, I couldn't.
It could even be African, but like these are peoples that are living out in, like, they're self-contained. They don't need us. So I've heard other people talk about how they heard the clicking, clacking sound, and that's.
Well, this was a constant clicking noise, but I remember getting off the phone with you there that one shortly after that, and he says, "Well, what you're describing sounds like the Predator movie." I'm going, "Well."
Oh, okay, yeah.
But anyways, yeah, it was the clicking noise, and it was continuous, and it just kept on going on and on and on and on and on. And then I figured the headphones were garbage, right? So I took them off and set them down.
Yeah, okay.
So anyhow, long story short, I got back to the camp and we put the headphones back on and tried them out again. The Walker Game ears worked perfectly fine, and I've yet to replicate that.
Okay.
So, yeah, that was probably my, the very latest experience anyways.
You're leaving out the experience you had with one of your children about the wading in the water and the ripples in the water.
Oh, yeah, and again, that was like turkey hunting season with my son. And, the day before we were out that very same oak hill that, I like to go turkey hunting on. We're in a I don't know, a ground blind, basically a pop-up ground blind, and no turkey showed up for some reason. Anyways, long story short, it was getting around 11:30 or something like that, and we started hearing some screams off in the distance, and my son, I already told him about my experiences with the Sasquatch and everything like that. And he says, "Well, here, put these in." He hands me three rounds of double-aught buck, shotgun shells he had in his pocket. He says, "Just be on the safe side.
Put that in your gun, please."
So I said, "Yeah, okay, all right, we'll put them in. All right, no problem." And so, anyways, nothing happened. But we seen a fox come walking by. Probably about 10 minutes later or something like that. I said, well, logical thinking. You're thinking, well, maybe it was the fox that was making that noise off in the distance. So we just sort of dismissed as the, fox making that noise.
Yeah.
So I basically told the kid that, okay, I'm going to go water the tree there. So you hang in here. Here's the gun. Here you go. And, proceed to answer the call of nature, and I was looking down the little valley off this hill, and I'm looking down towards a patch of cedar trees.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know for some reason why I'm transfixed down this area. I was just looking at this area, and I'm I don't know. There was something there that just drew my attention down there.
Yeah.
My son gets out of the ground blind. He has to go and water a tree too, and and he hands me the shotgun. I shoulder it with the strap, and he's sort of looking at me and said, "What are you looking at, Dad?" I said, "I don't know. I don't know what I'm looking at. I'm just looking." And then he's looking down. We're both looking down this hill to these cedars there, right on the
Well,
edge.
wait a second. Were you lying to him about what you know? I don't know what I'm looking at, or you just like
No, I had no clue.
you
what
did
I'm
that to
looking
calm him a bit, and let's just focus on this area.
Yeah, for some reason I was transfixed on this particular area. I don't know.
Because you didn't know what it was. You just said.
Yeah, exactly. It's like I don't know why,
Something
but
was drawing your attention, your
yes,
feelings.
something
your
was drawing my attention to that area, and I was just concentrating on it. And he comes out too, and he asked me, "What are you looking at?" I said, "I don't know. I'm." And then he started looking down this area too, and then all of a sudden we hear a splash in the water, and this is right on the water's edge of this lake. It sounded like a little bit of a cove.
Mm-hmm.
We hear a splash, and then we hear what sounds like somebody wading through the water. Like slush, 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 slush. And we're looking at each other going, what the hell's doing that? He's trying to come up with something, and I'm trying to think of something. Okay, what the hell could that possibly be? He says, is that maybe somebody in a canoe or something like that? I'm going, yeah, nobody in a canoe ever makes that kind of noise. It sounds like somebody's wading through the water or something like that. Like knee-deep water or something.
Yeah, like even I've been in waders. You have, I'm sure. Like you're not moving too quick to make a sloshing noise.
No, yeah, this thing was just going slosh, slosh, slosh. Almost like it's walking right through the water.
There's no point in asking you how deep it was to gauge size.
I went back there later on in the afternoon there in a aluminum fishing boat, and yeah, it's pretty deep. It would be past, I'd say my mid-chest range, I would say.
Yeah.
So,
okay, that's
and I'm looking down at these cedars, and I don't know, the view would be blocked. The view was blocked of whatever jumped in that water. But beyond, on the far left side of those cedars, you can see the water rippling away. But we didn't get a chance to see what was making that.
Yeah.
So, and I don't know. At that point, I was like, I'm not going down there going to check it out. But it was more along the lines of, okay, all right, that's enough for today. Let's pack shit up and head back to the cabin. That's what we did.
Yeah.
And, yeah, that was another weird experience that I never shared on any other podcast, but...
well, there you go.
Yeah, it was just...
Well, there's more for both of us, but yeah,
this is an exclusive, so...
If you want to share right now, go right ahead.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's about it for my experiences. Other than that, we're still waiting for some of you folks out there to maybe send in your witness accounts, or if you're interested in coming out on the podcast or field report.
Facebook page, if you'd like to remain anonymous, that is completely guaranteed. We have actually our flashlights going right now into the woods looking for eye shine. I'm sure there's somebody out there to call us crazy, but we're about to wrap it up, I guess, for the night, and it's like, what did I just say? 2:53 in the morning.
Yeah.
And Hastings County Sasquatch was created to see if there was any other sightings in this area or general area. By the way, it doesn't have to necessarily be Hastings County Sasquatch. It could be any other county, Lennox and Addington, or like as we said, like we've had experiences all over Ontario. If you look at the last podcast or listen to the last podcast, if you'd like to share any of your stories with us, anonymity is guaranteed.
Well, there is that that last thing, I came across that Sasquatch print out in Flamborough.
Yeah, there's the Flamborough Sasquatch print. The photos are there on Facebook. Make of it what you will. There's people seeing these things all over the place, and
there's tons of reports everywhere.
Tons of reports everywhere. So if you think you're crazy,
not even close. There's no way thousands of people have already seen them, or there's no way everybody's, thousands of people are having the same delusion. There's no way. There's something out there.
Well, if you would like to share your story with us, we'd love to hear it. And let's put it on Hastings County Sasquatch on Facebook and on YouTube. Our YouTube channel is Hastings County Sasquatch. It's a quick, simple find. And we're here in Ontario, having a bonfire. Time to go to bed. It's 3 a.m. almost. Oh my God.
What else you got? What else you got to do better on a Friday night?
On a Friday night when we've been working
Saturday
all week.
morning.
Yeah. Man, it's been crazy.
Work hard, play harder.
Yeah, there you go. We've had a good night. This has been good.
Good thing. All right, guys. We'll talk to you later.
Sasquatch.